Hello, Michael Day again, and in this video we're going to talk about tambourine technique. There's a lot of different techniques to play the tambourine depending on the situation that you have to play in. First I'll talk about the holding it. You want to hold it in your non-dominant hand. So I'm right-handed, so I'll do a lot of my playing with my right hand, so then I hold the tambourine in my left hand. And the hard part about that is the rolling. I see a lot of young students do this, and then they have to roll, and they switch to that hand. You want to be able to roll on the hand that you're not playing with. So, the basic rolling, you want to, well, actually, let me talk about the science of the tambourine. You have these jingles, which are little tiny cymbals on top of each other. So if you're holding the tambourine flat, it's not going to jingle too much. If you're holding it, they will kind of rattle against each other. So for a roll, you want to hold it, and you can either do a turn with your hand or go back and forth. Or they both work. Sometimes it's a difference in preference of what kind of sound you want to create on the tambourine. And so that's the basic loud rolling on the tambourine. Sometimes you might need to end the roll with a hit, and for that you can kind of make a fist, maybe not a full fist, but maybe a knuckle fist, and hit the middle of the head. So if you're doing a full roll, to end the roll, sometimes I do a hit to start the roll as well. And that creates a little bit more of a definite beginning and end. A quiet roll is what they call a thumb roll. And so what you have to do is you create friction, and your thumb vibrates very fast, but in the little tiny minute movements over the head of the tambourine. It takes a while to get used to. Sometimes you have to put a little beeswax on the drum head to create that friction. If the tambourine head is too too smooth, then the finger just slides right on. So you want to have a little bit of friction. And just like a loud roll, you can end it with a little hit. Sometimes with your palm of your hand. All right, but most of the time with tambourine rolls, they end up being the louder roll. For the rhythmic technique on a tambourine, a lot of times we're holding it fairly flat. You might want to give it a little bit of an angle, and depending on how loud you want to be was how many fingers you end up using. If you're playing something really quietly, sometimes I'll even rest my hand on it. Alright, but if I'm playing a little bit louder, I want to use 2 or 3 or maybe my entire hand. Or if it's something that's extraordinarily loud, I'll hold it up a little bit more, and I'll create those knuckles with my hand. And it's okay to get a little bit of the drum head sound, not just the tambourine, so not just the jingles. So playing position, I generally play towards the end of it. So I'm holding the tambourine up, and depending on the sound, from really quiet, a different technique for there. If it gets too fast to do one-handed, that's where the technique comes, where you will use a chair. So you'll put one leg up on the chair, and a lot of times you'll turn the tambourine over, and you'll use the technique of having your fist on one side and your knee on the other side, and then using the other hand to go between there. I try to avoid that if I need to. I try to work on developing the strength in my hand, so if I need to play something really fast, I will try using that. But this technique, maybe a good practice for this is just trying to create nice, even strokes. And then starting to play some 8th notes or 16th note rhythms. that will develop into some faster technique. So just like everything in the percussion world, there's a wide range of different usages for the instrument. So the biggest thing is to use your ear, listen to what's going on, and try to make what you are playing match what's happening in the ensemble.